Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So it is 1st of June and it's time for another garden video. However, many of you have actually emailed and asked me to do a slightly bit more comprehensive garden video, not just showing you around. So from now on guys, I will try to do a little bit more details there. I will try to slightly change the camera angle rather than me just constantly holding the camera. I'm not sure how well it's going to pan out, but of course I'm going to give it a go. So without further ado, let's have a look what's been happening for the past month. So guys, here you might remember I have planted some onions, and between the onions I have put some radishes. Unfortunately, not a single radish came up, and it's been a long time now, so they should have come up already and started growing really well. So I had to reseed them one more time, and hopefully for the best. The only thing I've actually noticed guys, that recently because of the weather everything seems to be struggling quite a lot. It's still really chilly at night. It's about 8 or 9 degrees and things are genuinely really not looking that good. And another point is as well, we are lacking bees guys, and it's been the same as last year. It's been an absolute struggle, but nonetheless we onwards and upwards from here. Behind me there guys, you probably hopefully get to see I've got some volunteer potatoes growing in the place where I totally didn't intend to grow potatoes. There's not even a proper soil there, but if they are there, we're just going to let them be there and see what happens, and be interesting experiment to see in the end of the year, see what actually comes out from that. And as earlier guys in the previous video, that bed there is meant to be for the salad, so hopefully we'll get to plant it out today. So let's go and have a look further. So guys, here I have some currants, and it's actually, they have been doing really good. Since the last video you will see this is here, it's all new growth, and to be fair, the berries you can see, we've got quite a few there. It's not by far perfect, but the point is they are doing so well, and the smell is absolutely amazing. On here the gooseberries, they've done really well as well. I have an issue with birds picking at them all the time, and this year is no different. I haven't managed to put up the netting yet, but we can see guys, they are doing pretty good. Here I've done a bit of experiment. This was a hay bale, and I meant to be conditioning this with some fertilizer, and the idea was I meant to be growing in it. As I've been away for a few days, I've kind of skipped the step, but the point is you water it and you put some fertilizer in, and then it starts to decompose inside, and then you plant stuff in it, and it's meant to grow like a bed. But so far it's not happened because I haven't been doing this up to date really. So here guys, I have my courgette, and I'm doing a selection of the bits for you guys who are wondering whether you're actually able to grow stuff in the pots. I have a whole selection there which I'll show you later, and I want to basically demonstrate the point that even if you don't have a garden, you can still grow stuff in the containers, and that guy seemed to be a perfect example. I'm trying to stock them up as well, and I've noticed that by having the and tying them up to the bamboo sticks or thicker sticks, the leaves and everything else seem to be just growing upwards a little bit better, and that's genuinely obviously the idea that you want to have, especially if you're growing in a pot. So far so good guys. I've got a few flowers there, and some mini baby courgettes coming very soon. So guys, on the bed next to the courgette here, I have planted some pumpkins, trying to climb them up, and they are unfortunately really not doing that good. I do have some weeds in there, and I have planted some other things as well, which I have a look on the other side. But pumpkins on here that normally trail over the trellis here, again they are just doing really badly. Again, assuming that's due to the weather. Rhubarb here, bearing in mind, is always struggles. It's in a temporary place here because of the grapes, so it will have to be moved sometime next year. I have some volunteer wild strawberries here, which are kind of getting there anyway. But you can see guys, the pumpkins are just not doing that good at all. So on the other side, I'll show you here as we're on this bed, I've planted some parsnips, and again they're just about coming up there. Hopefully you get to see that. And some turnips, which are also super tiny, but it is coming along. So I have another 2 rhubarbs in the pots. Again, I'll have to find a place for those, as I mentioned, but not doing too bad. Nothing to write home about. But strawberries, this is the little bed on the ground. Yeah, we're lacking heat guys, lacking heat. So here, excuse the shadow. So as an example for the container gardening is some sweet corn. We've got some beetroot, and I've also got some parsnips in here because they seem to do here better than they actually do in the container over there. So coming up to here, So on this side, guys, I was going to plant a lot of tomatoes. However, I have really bad year for the tomatoes, and I think many people did as well. But I've noticed as well, you'll see I've got a loads of potatoes. The interesting point, I've actually planted them up there the end of last year, and they actually been initially planted before, well before the raised bed was here. So they are actually buried quite deep. So again, that'll be quite an interesting experiment that's kind of posed itself by itself. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm not sure whether they're going to be getting them out, because they will grow up really tall, and this is pretty much they're going to be taking the whole bed, which I really don't want. I do in the end have another courgette there. I do have quite a few because of the allotment situation, and I just couldn't let them go. So they've kind of been put here, there and everywhere. And as you can see here, I have a really nice beef tomato, the only one that is currently actually planted outside, and it might end up staying this way because of the weather. And I have a nice selection of peas at the back. They're actually not doing that good, or actually not doing that bad. So on this side, guys, you remember I've planted potatoes, and they're actually looking really good. You probably will see here they are slightly smaller, but it is due to the way the sun goes, and it kind of shows you. People say you can grow potatoes in the shade. You can see the difference in the potatoes that get more sun here up to the ones that really don't. But fingers crossed, they'll still produce us some good results. On the other side, guys, I've planted out, okay, the dwarf French beans and sweet corn with French beans, and the courgette and the pumpkin. This is meant to be like a three sisters method, and the idea is that your runner beans or climbing beans actually climb on a sweet corn. So far, you can see they're pretty tiny. Sweet corn's not doing too bad, and I've done the same on this side here. You can see the heights of that. I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but it's the first time I tried this. But I must say, guys, that the beans are actually doing very badly. The same reason with the courgettes, I seem to have noticed here, I have a bit of a droopy leaves. I've no idea why. It's got good soil underneath it, but let's see what happens. So guys, this is state of the strawberries on the both raised beds. Again, the weeds are relentless here. Nonetheless, they are kind of happening slowly amongst the weeds, but we'll see what happens. Coming onto the bed, it's totally now covered in herbs. So I will be removing some and dividing some herbs and planting them at the front garden. The wild strawberries are doing absolutely amazing. I've got the also volunteer foxglove that just appeared there, which is, yeah. So this is my chives, overtaken by mint and bay leaf, which will have to come out. You seem to love it here, but look at that, guys, it's full. I'm super happy because it looks really good, but it's just not good use of space. This is the foxglove, look at that. So pretty. And on the other side as well, guys, I wanted to actually point out the fact I've got some, if you are thinking of growing herbs but don't really have seeds or don't know where to start, you can just buy them from Tesco's when they're reduced, plant them up, and when they literally look half dead, plant them in there, and look at that. Curly leaf parsley, coriander and parsley, look at that. This was one pot that was reduced to like 20 pence, and look at that. They are doing superbly well. So guys, on this side, you might remember I had some lupins, and look at those, they look amazing. Those ones are starting to already go to seed, but there is still a lot of them out there. And guys, as I mentioned, with the bees thing, normally they'll be covered in bees, but this year it's been really poor, and that clearly has an effect on a lot of vegetables, especially in the greenhouse, which I'll show you later. But here, there was another example, guys, when I planted up a lot of potatoes. Look at that. This was, I think, 4 potatoes in a big pot, and again, I'll do the video in the end of the season where we'll probably get all the pots of the potatoes out and actually see how well that worked. And on that side in the bed there, I do have another courgette which is tied up vertically, so we'll see which one will perform better. So on this side in the bed, I have planted carrots, and unfortunately, I only have a couple that came up. And unfortunately, due to help of a toddler, she decided to scoop a lot. So I probably lost quite a bit, but I will be replanting them. I think I'm just gonna go again. There's a few weeds in there. They're absolutely relentless. My garlic here, it's not doing that good, unfortunately, and the same pumpkins on this side are not perfect. So this side, do you remember that tree? Okay, it's kind of getting there, but very, very slowly. Another experiment of the potatoes in a totally small pots. Again, all seem to be doing rather well. More courgettes. Again, this is overflow from the allotment, guys, and I have to put them somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, but they kind of have to go. This was a nursery bed for nasturtiums, and they are doing well, so I'm going to be putting them all around the garden. Here I've got another poly courgette. I've noticed on some they've been munched by some pest, and I don't actually know which one it is, but there is a couple of little courgettes there, so we'll see what happens. The same pest was actually attacking my outdoor cucumber, which is not doing that good, and neither are those three, but I have a backup plan. So this is my another berries. You can see they're very, very scarce, but let's have a look in the greenhouse. So this is the difference 4 weeks make. This is tomato plants, okay, and they'll need tying up in a minute. On this side as well, I've got some, they're falling over. As I said, I've not been here for a few days, so things obviously happened. As it growing here, I've got some extra things planted up. I've done the beetroot in the cells to plant out, which will need to go out. Basil, not really changed a lot, again, frustratingly. I planted extra bit of lettuce, some more beetroot over there. I've got broccoli. Broccoli, it's doing really, really badly. So I've got some extra tomatoes, a few other bits and bobs, cucamelons, and look at my runner beans. No, French beans. It's an embarrassment. They should be already outside and climbing, but they're not. I've got some fennel, that's not doing too good. And I've got some perpetual spinach, which will need to go out. So that, and I've got another bunch of tomatoes here, which I've shown you what I've done. So guys, as you can see here, the tomatoes are really, really big, and so this one is a money maker. And the idea is, guys, with the cordon tomatoes, you meant to pinch off the side shoot to make sure, obviously, that your plant puts the energy of growing up and producing flowers. Well, this year, guys, right, it's not guaranteed, it's not 100% something you have to do. Okay, I have experimented that before, and I have left them on. All that means, guys, the plant will just spread, and you will just have to make sure that you support this, not just main stem, but support the side stems as well. However, because of the shortages of plants, you know, and how the rubbish the year was, my idea is, because I had those tomatoes from a very early day, they've grown above and beyond everything else. So I've kept the suckers on deliberately, and now we're at the stage, guys, okay, that I can pull the sucker off, and it is a big one, okay. All I got to do is just to take the bottom leaves off, okay, put it in the soil, guys, plant it up, and this is what I've done earlier. Basically, there's no roots coming through yet, but that will root, okay, and root pretty fast. And the deeper that you put it in the soil, okay, you can literally put it up to the top there, it will develop a bigger root, and it hopefully it wouldn't catch up with all the tomatoes, but I'm hoping it's going to give us enough time, or the weather give us enough time to be able to grow them on before the blight hits. This is the option I said I've done as well with tomatoes behind me, which were the ones that were hanging here, but take them off for the camera point. The bush side tomatoes, I've just pinched out a few to spread them, because I don't feel that this is enough tomatoes, considering I do a lot of preserving, obviously making tomato pastas and things like that, and I wanted to have a lot of tomatoes. So however, guys, it is experiment, but we're all in the hands of gods due to the weather, to see whether this experiment actually works. So if you do have 1 or 2 tomatoes, but you would like to have more, maybe give that a go. You have nothing to lose, because otherwise this one's just going to go in the bin. So again, this is the second greenhouse. This one is full of cucumbers. Again, they're not particularly doing that good, apart from a couple here. They are looking rather nice. There's a couple of little cucumbers in there. But again, I think this was the hybrid variety, so we're not relying on the pollinators. Some of others do require them. So here, I've planted about the cucumbers, but I've actually put them in the pots, in the grow bags, and you'll find that the roots will find their way into that soil, so you don't have to worry about that. So on the top here, my chili peppers, some are still in the pots and obviously some in the grow bags. They started to have some flowers, which I'm really happy with. So hopefully we're going to get some lovely, lovely chili plants. The experiment I was doing, guys, deeper pots versus grow bag to see whether there is much difference. At the moment, there is a slight difference, but seem to be only in one. The rest are kind of very much the same. And then the bottom here, I have my salad that's going to be planted out. I've got some spinach and I have some cucumbers, which will have to be going outside very, very soon. And I have some rainbow spinach. Believe this or not, so rainbow chard. Believe this or not, I've been planting this and growing this for a couple of years. And I very unluckily never had a yellow one, but I have yellow. I want a yellow. They are beautiful and they just literally just glisten on the sunshine. Right, so I've got my hay, and here I have another 3 cucumbers that are again not doing but we'll see what happens. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed my little garden tour. If you do have any comments, any ideas on the filming things or the way I should be filming all the things, information maybe you want me to teach you or pass on, please comment down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.